What's going on, guys? Super Insane 18 here, and today we are bringing you yet another deck that can absolutely abuse Revolution Synchron after Duelist Nexus, keeping in theme with the videos that I have been uploading lately, and this time it is one of my favorite decks of all time. That is going to have to be ABC, so let's go ahead and show you guys the build. We are going to be playing a relatively standard lineup of the actual ABC pieces. That is going to be 2 copies of A Assault Core, 3 copies of B Buster Drake, and 2 copies of C Crush Wyvern. If you wanted to bump this up, you could, but the deck is a little bit tight, so this is what I really wanted to run. B obviously being the most important and the one that you want to abuse most, since it is a not once per turn search, and the other pieces do have their niche as well, but B is obviously the more important one, so that's why we're maxing out that. And then of course we have to play the 1 brick, the Union Driver, but with the addition of Revolution Synchron, opening this isn't actually all that bad, and if you want to know why, you can definitely go ahead and check out the combo tutorial video. I'm not going to be doing a combo at the end of this video like I do with some of my profiles. That's because there are a lot of combos with this deck, and I want to bring you guys a fully dedicated video, so make sure you are on the lookout for that, because that will be coming soon as well. Now we also have our 3 copies of Revolution Synchron. This card is absolutely crazy in any deck that can play a level 4 and a field spell, and surprise surprise, not only can we play the level 4 and the field spell, but our field spell search is our level 4, so you will see in the combo tutorials why this is just an absolutely insane card for the ABC strategy. Next up, we have 2 copies of P.U.N.K Regulus. Not only is this an Omni-Negate, but because of the way that Union monsters work, you will actually be able to use this to target any of your ABC pieces that you have in your graveyard, and once it's equipped, since they're Union monsters, they can summon themselves, meaning that not only do you get an Omni-Negate, but you also get an Extender. Finally, for the monsters, we have the Destrudo. This is just for the Dragon Ravine. We are maxing out on field spells in this deck just because we want to be able to abuse something like Ancient Fairy Dragon in combination with the Revolution Synchron, so we are playing 3 different named field spells, one of which is going to be Dragon Ravine, so being able to send the Destrudo and force ourselves into an Ancient Fairy Dragon, albeit at the cost of half of our life points, still definitely worth it when you see the kind of end boards that this deck can produce. Onto the spells, we have all of our field spells. Of course, we have our 3 copies of Union Hanger, we have our 2 copies of Therion Disc Coliseum, and the 1 copy of Dragon Ravine. All of these should be relatively straightforward. Union Hanger is the god card in this deck, so you want to make sure that you open it, and then the Disc Coliseum is able to search for your Regulus, and the Dragon Ravine is just another name for you to be able to go into like your Destrudo. We also are playing 1 copy of Terraforming and 1 copy of Set Rotation. This pretty much guarantees that we will see some form of field spell in our opening hand. Next, we have a couple of board breakers. I still believe that board breakers are better than hand traps for this current format, so we have 3 copies of Book of Moon, and the reason I still think it's on 3 copies of Book of Moon, 1, Kashtira is still very viable, so you want to make sure you have that, but a lot of people are going to be trying to abuse Crimson Dragon in order to summon the Hot Red King Calamity, which, if you didn't know, the Crimson Dragon has to be able to check the level of the targeted monster on resolution, so if you Book of Moon whatever they target off of the Crimson Dragon, assuming that the Book of Moon resolves and flips that target face down, they return the Crimson Dragon to the extra deck and do not get the summon, meaning that you avoided the Hot Red King Calamity, mouthful there. So I definitely think that Book of Moon is an incredible card. We are playing 2 copies of Enemy Controller as well, fitting in with the board breaker format. Not only is Enemy Controller just a really good card, but since you're able to tag out the Dragon Buster for 3 of your pieces, you definitely have a surplus of monsters that you're able to use. And finally, we have the Triple Tactics Talents. Not only is this just good going first if you get hand trapped, but going second, it's also a board breaker as well. Next up, we have 2 copies of Tuning. This is going to be to search our Revolution Synchron. I really wanted to play this at 3, but I just didn't have the room, so 2 is going to have to do. That essentially gives us 5 copies of the Revolution Synchron, so our chances of seeing it are relatively high. It's over, I believe, it's 54%, I think, so more than half your games you're going to be able to see it. Then we have our Unauthorized Reactivation. This is just a consistency card, being able to put additional materials under one that you control. Then we have the 3 Pot of Prosperity for consistency. Obviously, consistency is key, and we want to make sure that we are able to get into not only our Union Hangers, but our Revolutions as well. Followed up by the Called by the Grave as the final spell, and finishing up the deck at 40 cards, we have 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. I still think that this is relatively good because going first, you're able to set it, but going second, you can hold it and don't use it on your opponent's turn because they're probably going to play through it anyway, but you're able to use it to turn off something during your turn going second. So I think that that's really, really strong. Let's show you guys the extra deck. And before we give you guys the extra, don't forget to check out the Fusion Summer Fun double-sided metal field center, available for pre-order on my website, Insane TCG, link in the description below. It is a limited run of just 100, so once they are gone, you will never be able to get this again. Make sure you guys pick yours up before they're out. Kicking things off with the extra deck, we are going to be playing 3 copies of ABC Dragon Buster. Now, making 3 of these is definitely very rare, but it can come up in a grind game, so you want to make sure that you have all 3. If you don't feel that you need it, it is a free prosperity fodder as well, so you don't really need to worry about it too much, but this card is the ABC Boss Monster, so you have to play it. Moving on to some synchros, we have our Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is, of course, the heart and soul of the Revolution combo, but not just that, we do play another level 7 synchro, and that is actually going to be Black Rose Dragon. Now, the reason we are playing Black Rose Dragon is because if we are going second, we're able to just summon any of our level 4s. If we have the Revolution, go into Black Rose and nuke the field, and that is a very good and very strong way to out your opponent's board, depending on what they have. Then we also have our Crystal Clearwing, which is part of the combo, because when you make the Revolution into the Ancient Fairy, you are able to then resummon it as a level 1. Ancient Fairy and the level 1 will go into the Crystal Wing, so you get another negate up very, very early. And finally, we have a Baron, a little bit more tricky to make, but definitely possible to make given the right hand. So yeah, there's that. We're going to go ahead and move into the XYZs. We only play the one. We have the number 41 Baguska. That's just kind of in case you get stopped, or if you brick, you kind of need something to slow your opponent down. Onto some of the links, we have our IP Masquerena, which is typically going to be part of your end board. Nightmare Phoenix for utility, Platinum Gadget because it is part of the combo and one of the better extenders in the deck, and we have our Nightmare Unicorn, again just a good generic card. You can make it off of the IP, you can make it off of all your resources. Then we have a couple of Link 4s. We have the access code for the OTK and the Appaloosa, which you are able to summon during your opponent's turn using the IP Masquerena. You can tag out the ABC Dragon Buster, summon 3 pieces, use the IP, make a 4-material Appaloosa after you've already interrupted them, and it's just very, very potent. And finishing things off, we have the Underworld Goddess, again for use with the IP. Being able to just get rid of a monster on their field for pretty much free is a little broken, and it helps you crack boards if you're going second as well. And there you guys have it. That is going to be my ABC Revolution deck profile. If you want to see the combos, don't forget I will be making a fully dedicated combo tutorial, so make sure you stay tuned for that. If you like the video, you know the deal. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, share with your friends, maybe consider supporting me on Patreon. Check out the channel sponsor Dueling Guard. Remember to use code INSANE18 for 5% off your entire order, and don't forget the Fusion Summer Fun double-sided metal field center, available for pre-order on my website right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.